You know, the great thing about YouTube is that anybody can come on, start a channel, and broadcast on YouTube. And the terrible thing about YouTube is that anybody can come on, get a channel, and broadcast on YouTube. And what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people that you might be looking at for market stuff are, let's say, self-taught, or which is nothing wrong with being self-taught, but maybe they don't have the credibility that some other people do. When I am, when I come on, a lot of times I wear this jacket, and it's a prop just because I don't use this to trade anymore. I don't need this to trade. I'm a retail trader now. I don't have to go onto a floor. I'm not required to wear a trading jacket. But I wear this as a prop to remind people that I have been professionally trained, that I was a professional trader for many years, that I've had a career, and you know, it gives some credibility. Today I had a interview with a guy, Androsform, and the interview was scheduled a long time ago. But a little ways into the interview, I realized that he had a huge winning trade just, I think, either yesterday or the day before in Tilray, and you know, it hadn't really come up yet until we were actually talking in the interview, which is, that really just shows to the strength of this gentleman's character, that he wasn't, you know, coming out to say, oh, guess what, I made money, blah, blah, blah. But later on in the interview, I realized that he had successfully put a trade on that made $1 million in Tilray. And what he did was he bought 10,000 shares, and the thing rallied. It was up from, you know, it's been up from like 73 to 300 in the last few sessions. And he was mentioning in the interview that he got a lot of hate on Twitter when he talked about it, and people thought that it was fake. And, you know, there's good reason for people to be skeptical, because a lot of stuff on the internet is fake. But I did want to show you, first of all, some of his screenshots from that time, so that to add credibility, to show you that this actually isn't fake. He's actually a bigger trader. It sounds like he's pretty much always been a bigger trader than me. At the height of my of my size, I was trading 70 positions at a time, and I was part of a joint account that had, I think, between $40 and $50 million in it. My own capital requirements I don't really think ever got higher than $2 or $3 million at a time. I'm not entirely sure of that. Maybe when I was watching other people's positions, it might have gotten up to $5 million, but that was my size. And so let's take a look. First, I'm going to show you some of his screenshots from yesterday, and then I'm going to show you some of my P&L reports from back in the day, in the 90s when I was a market maker, and the early 2000s, to show you what it looks like, P&L in different stocks. And I just thought it might be interesting for people. This is not like a bragging thing or anything like that. I can tell you a lot of the money from back then is gone, and it was a different time. That was like 20 years ago. But I just thought it would be interesting for people, and also just to establish my credibility. So, Androsforms. I had a great time in the interview with him, and I hope you will check out that interview with him. But this is sort of a companion piece where we take a look at a couple visual aids from that he was kind enough to provide me with from that yesterday and the day before, I believe it is. So let's take a look at the first one here, and here we go. And let me make sure that I'm out of the way here. Let me get myself out of the way. We don't need to see me right now. So this is the first thing, and let's see if I can blow it up maybe a little bit here. So, and this is going to show his P&L kind of sort of like starting out with this. And this is Tilray, and you're going to see it says on here, stock price 151.79, net liquidity 1,600,000, P&L open 112,000. Okay. Then we've got another screenshot here, and this shows 1.7 million net liquidity, P&L day 200,000. Okay. And then as we move forward here, there's another one. And let me move this over here so you can see this one. Okay, so then the account has gone from 1.1 million to 2.1 million. P&L day $610,000. P&L open 642,000. And then finally this one. Net liquidity 2.2 million. P&L open 774,000. P&L in the day 742,000, which would ultimately end up being $1 million day for Androsform. And you know, he explains in the video, I'll let you watch it, but he explains in the video that, you know, his excitement is not over making the money, but just at being able to train some new people and teach and, you know, and get that positive feedback that he's taught some other people how to make money for themselves. So that's a great attitude to have. Okay, so now we're just going to move on to, these are some P&L sheets from me from like 20 years ago. And so we're going to put it up here. This first one, it's going to show years across the top. And these first years, I was a clerk, or I wasn't even working for the company. I guess I was a clerk starting in 94 maybe. And you're going to see gross and net P&L. So my first year trading, this was the year where I was up like 600,000. I ended up giving back a whole bunch in Cisco being short premium. Chose gross P&L 135,000, net 48,000. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, next year. Gross P&L 482,000, net 336. Okay. And then compensation 141,000. We had a formula that we got our compensation out of. Okay, the next year, 1998, gross P&L 440,000, net P&L 297,000. Okay, and it shows up till then lifetime P&L 1,681,000 gross. And you can see this next little chart shows per month, like up and down months. And you see there's some up months, some down months, of course. And then it's going to show P&L by underlying. And you're going to see these different underlyings. These are all the stocks I was trading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 stocks I was trading during this 3-year period. And then there's other stuff which, and so this is going to show during this year, which was the last year, 1998, it's going to show each month how much I made or lost in each stock. And this is kind of interesting because you can see that it's pretty volatile the way stuff bounces up and down. Let me see if I can make this a little bit smaller here, because it's kind of it might be like too big. So let me just go fit to screen. All right, so this is going to show, I guess you could freeze it and zoom in, but it's going to show each month my net P&L. It's going to show each stock, what was happening, and some you can see some of them are all over the board, but it looks like my biggest losers were PAIR, which I don't even remember. Office Systems, I remember that one. Big loser, $258,000 loser. And bigger winners were, let's see, Eric Y, that's Ericsson right there, $194,000 winner that year. And BMCS, that's BMC Software, $136,000 winner. HTI, which I think was AirTouch, $73,000 winner. Okay, and then AstraZeneca, another big one was Xilinx, $150,000 winner. And as we move through here, it's going to add another year. So then this adds 1999, gross P&L 1 million, net P&L 824,000, compensation 381,000. And it's going to go, and we're going to break down the stocks by stock once again. And you can see there was a takeover here. So it shows me losing $3 million in AirTouch and me making $3 million in Vitaphone because Vitaphone took over AirTouch, so that's what that is. And you can see me Zeneca. I think this is some sort of takeover thing too, because it shows Zeneca up 1.4 million and this one down 1.4 million. So I think that was like a symbol change or something like that. But big ones for me here were, of course, BMCS up 440,000 that year, and Xilinx up 485,000 that year. So those were big ones for me that year. And so, and then it's showing, you can see the last month of this year, I lost a bunch of money. You can see it up, 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 up. And then this last month, I lost like $500,000, which was brutal. And then, so this gives the next year, P&L 385,000, net 207,000. So this was my lifetime to date by 2000, up 2.445 million. Net 1.713 million, compensation 904,000. So that's that. Shows me during this period I traded 21,727,000 shares of stock, and I traded 361,219 options contracts. And my average daily haircut, which would that kind of represents average daily haircut, that kind of represents how much my margin was average, and it's 663,000. So like I said, never really got over 3 million. Average was 663,000 for my margin. So that's how much capital I pretty much required. And then goes through once again by month how much I made and lost, and that last month being a real dinger, lost 477,000. But really good months being November 401,000, January 336,000, and March 394,000. So that's just some, and you can see the way like trading all these issues simultaneously and all the options on them. Some of them were big winners, some were big losers, and you just kind of did the best you can to manage your risk and moved on from there. So I hope this is maybe interesting to, it's kind of like an inside baseball type geeky thing, this stuff. But I hope this is interesting to you. And once again, it's here to show that, yes, indeed, as claimed in the title, it's not just clickbait. Androsform did make over $1 million in Tilray during that period of a day or two. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please check out Androsform's website, and he's got a great blog that covers the entire market. He's a really smart guy and has a lot to offer, and I would definitely, he's definitely a diamond in the rough to find and to check out. So please do that. Please support him, and if you like what you see here, please support me too. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and even if you could give $1 towards Patreon, that would be great. I'm just starting out this channel, and it's a tough road when you're first starting out on YouTube. So, you know, just giving $1 would signal your support for me, and that would be a great motivator for me to keep going and keep providing quality content for you. And this is the real deal trading, as proven by these P&L statements here. So with that all being said, I'm going to leave you with my fancy newest intro, and I'll talk to you next time. As a young man, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. On my friend Mike's recommendation, I moved to Chicago and began as a runner on the trading floor. I eventually moved up and made bank trading size for one of the most respected firms in the world. In the dot-com bubble, things went south for me. The trader lifestyle caught up and I lost everything. Years later, I fought my way back, and I'm now here to help others on Trader Talk.